Welcome back to the LEC stream, everyone. Vitality scored their second victory of the split against Fnatic, and I have Comp with me to talk about the game and the split overall. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry the split didn't go the way you wanted, but congrats on your first split in the LEC anyway, and ending it on a positive note also. So how do you feel after a game like this, actually? Because you know how Fnatic play, but still you won, so tell me.
I mean, honestly, this game kind of reminded me how scrims go, usually. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a funny game, I guess, and I'm just pretty glad that we actually managed to win this game, because it would actually be pretty funny if we lost to an auto-fill top lane and an auto-fill support.
Oh, I know. Yeah, especially with the break coming, and I know you had a lot of visa issues that didn't help at all this split, and it also impacted the lineup as we know it and the results, obviously. So, but negatives aside, I know we had an interview before the LEC started. You were talking about the expectations and the fact that you were proud to become an LEC player. So, tell me about this first experience, one split later.
Yeah, so the experience has been honestly great, even though we didn't manage to take up a lot of wins and secure playoffs. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had really high expectations even from the first split, even though, let's say, I'm a rookie. So it didn't go as planned, though. But I think I got many experiences, and I'm just looking forward for what the future has to bring.
Yeah, I mean, there's still half of the season to play and a lot of time to pick things up. But did you guys identify what to work on to get back on track this summer?
Honestly, yeah, we even though we are still, let's say, last place, we are still having quality practice, and we're still, even though we don't make playoffs, we're still practicing for summer already. So we know what to do, and we know which direction is the right to go.
And you had to change mid laner twice. I mean, we had Seiken, we also had Selfie who had to fill in, obviously because Milica couldn't be with you guys, but you met him, you guys had a chance to train with him. So what can we expect from Milica in summer if he's able to join you guys finally?
I mean, I think overall Milica is a really funny guy to work with, and he's really looking forward to improve. He's always honest, and he's always a really hard worker. So I hope in summer we can finally get to play with him and see how it goes from there.
And I really hope Vitality can do well in summer as well. Comp, thank you so much for this interview, and have a nice break, I guess, and I'll see you again in summer in good shape. And we're going to take a break for now, but coming back, this will be the last game of the day, Misfits versus G2 Esports. Stay tuned.
Bye-bye.
We both won the first two splits we played in LEC.
We both have an insane drive and motivation that pushes us forward in the competition.
The new EU talent is here to stay.
Knockups there, expect running for his life. Sidestep there from Sukwani, but no, Febiven flash forward.
All the top teams are stronger than they were last year, so it's going to be way harder to secure the first seed in playoffs.
We both won the first two splits we played in LEC.
We both have an insane drive and motivation that pushes us forward in the competition.
The new
It was pretty fun to play against Febiven. I've played against him for many years now.
And there's the death mark coming in. And will it be enough? The pop and Febiven! 1v1's faking.
The history between us comes from 2016. He's always been trying to be better than me.
Comes the play on a Baker, exhausted. Zaki away from the wall, not quick against the slope. There's a flash to chase. First blood into place.
We both won the first two splits we played in LEC.
We both have an insane drive and motivation that pushes us forward in the competition.
2-1 and 2. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jankos gets the kill. PERKZ, one more turret shot. It's enough, but the tower takes him down.
This game will be like better jungler wins.
We don't have time, we have another fight. Febi's getting dived in the top lane, PERKZ doing what he can, but Febi able to survive for the moment. He's going to take down PERKZ. He dodges out the barrel as well, and Jankos has got a ball. Oh, the stopwatch! Is Febi going to survive? Jankos goes in, flashes out, he gets in.
Let's see if they go for this pick.
Oh, great! Featherstorm gets him out. That was perfect from Bvoy. He escapes the first bit of the fight. And G2, they thought they'd caught Misfits. Misfits now well in the lead in this game.
It's my solo kill game.
The jungler who goes first mid will probably kill. So maybe level 1 gank. Who knows?
It's pretty important for us to win the split. Now it's a new challenge for us to be able to win the split online. The synergy between Febiven and Razork is probably the biggest strength of their team.
The new EU talent is here to stay.
If they overcommit, the knockback into the wall. Are going to try to pull it back, but Razork! Just give this man player of the game! Down this round, Expect just takes the bait. He goes, wait a second, why would you do that? That's so it's not Expect. You've been baited, you've been outsmarted, now you're stunned. The Galio coming in though, maybe he can turn it. The knockup's there, Expect running for his life. Sidestep there from the Suwani, but no, Febiven flash forward, shoots him with the gun fade.
Febiven is doing well again. I think that he was always like one of the better mid laners, but since he went to MA, no one really believed in him. And now he kind of did bring it back, and people still consider him like a top 3 mid lane in Europe right now. But I still think we should be able to beat him.
The Sank's already dead. PERKZ drives straight in, but knocked up by Cellmate in a moment, in a heartbeat. There's the True Shot Barrage coming out as well. And G2 now have a man advantage. Cellmate jumps back in. PERKZ alive. There's the Monsoon. Cellmate's going to go down. And the Monsoon just heals up them all. Reckless next on the menu. Only Nemesis left alive.
Last time we won against him, I think it's because he probably was a bit lost from the echo. I mean, I think they should ban it if they want to win.
All the top teams are stronger than they were last year, so it's going to be way harder to secure the first seed in playoffs.
Oh, very G2 versus Misfits. What a game this is going to be. I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun to listen, to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's... we had a pretty exciting game 4. And of course, in terms of the standings, this game doesn't mean anything, Medic. However...
I mean, there are stakes, Vedi. There are big stakes on this game.
And the thing is, for those that are familiar with G2, you know that they take pretty much everything seriously, especially when it comes to really silly things. So, the first thing to note is that Misfits is the only team that G2 has not beaten yet this split. Right? So that's the first thing. And if they lose, right, you know that Misfits is going to hold that over G2 all the way up until summer, right? So, the other thing is that PERKZ and Jankos right now are tied for the Kia Pog battle. Now, what's even more intense, right, is that they're not automatically guaranteed to be on the Kia Pog list, Medic. So they could lose. I mean, first of all, they have to win the game. Then secondly, if there's no guarantee that they get on the list unless they have spectacular performances. So PERKZ and Jankos, we know that they care a lot about these small things. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them both have the best games of their careers to just try and one-up each other. That's the sort of expectation setting that I want to have for this game.
I mean, I'll be honest, it would be a little bit unfair of us if G2 won to only put one of them on the player of the game.
I think we don't put either of them on.
Just like, well, you're tired, guys. I'm really sorry, but
but Mikyx, the reality is we have to be fair, you know, because player
100%.
of the game is a representative of who was the strongest player in the game. And if PERKZ and Jankos are not up to that bar, then why should they be on the list? Is the ultimate question, Mikyx. So there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders, you know?
It's a huge amount of pressure.
A heavy weight on their arms. And of course, you know, we talked about it in terms of stakes. This game doesn't mean anything. The 10 teams are locked now. G2 is in first. Misfits is in fifth. They will have to play in the lower bracket of our playoff format. It's obviously a much harder path to be able to make it to the finals. You're going to have to go through every single team, but that is the path that Misfits have ahead of them. So let's see how they choose to end the split, with G2 going up against Misfits in our final game of the regular season.
And I'm already looking forward to these bans. Pantheon removed by G2. Riven taken away by Misfits. Now, Riven is a well-known Teemo counter that I have just made up. And so perhaps that's, you know, Dan Dan said, if I get 100 retweets, I'm going to ask for Teemo top. He got 400 retweets. We'll
yes.
see.
Actually, I think he got over 1,000 retweets.
Oh, did he actually? Okay. Got a lot
but bear
of
in mind, all he said was he was going to ask his coach.
He said beg.
That doesn't mean...
I mean, beg is like ardent asking. If you're a coach and you're not allowing your player to do that.
Misfits banned away the Echo.
Maybe it was Jankos' pocket pick. You never know.
For those that don't know, Razork is a very well-known solo queue Echo player. He has like an over 70% win rate on it at high challenger, and it was the champion that helped Misfits beat G2 last time they met during the regular season. So for Misfits to ban it away, they're like, no, we're not going to give Jankos the opportunity to beat us with their own picks.
I'm also trying to work out if G2 are trying to spell anything here, because at the moment we have PHL, right, and on the other end we have ER. So I'm wondering if there's a 10-letter word we're going to get spelt by.
I mean, so I thought that they might have been writing "please help," and then if they'd done a J, then they could have done Jankos.
Yeah.
You know, but clearly their secret message was caught by Grabs, and they were like, no, you're not going to be asking for any help here. First pick, Sejuani. Okay, that's what's going to be locked in right now for G2.
Jankos did say he had a special pocket pick for this game, considering they already locked first place, and Aatrox is the first lock.
That's
I'm slightly disappointed. However, support Aatrox, something different.
Well, so I know I think Wunder just enjoys playing Aatrox, so they could go for the Fnatic approach, where they just kind of play the champions that they enjoy playing. We do see an Ornn lock-in for Misfits. Now, will that be in the top lane? We're yet to see. We did get to see a bit of a... right now, honestly, these are looking
it's
like
way too conventional, Medius. I'm a little bit...
Yeah, we might have to rein it back in real quick, because right now, these teams...
Wukong can't be picked, just in case anyone's wondering, as the hover comes in.
That's a very early blind LeBlanc. Now, we'll know how tryhard G2 are approaching this draft based on whether or not they lock in Corki right now, because Corki would be the obvious choice. Very good matchup into the LeBlanc. Not early, but because you can... Okay, there we go. We got some Shyvana. All right.
Okay,
there we go.
There we go. Okay. I'm looking forward to this. Zed versus LeBlanc in the mid lane.
So this is... Mikyx, tell me, how familiar are you with AP Shyvana jungle?
I'm really familiar with it. It's so much fun, and it does a lot of damage.
It does a lot of damage. So you can see, because they have an AD mid and an AD top, that heavily suggests to me AP Shyvana. But the thing I'm super excited about is the fact that we're going to get to see the Zed locked in for PERKZ. There's the Teemo! There's the Teemo!
Oh, how's Teemo into Aatrox?
Oh. I mean, I imagine it's a hard stomp. I mean, in what universe does Teemo lose to anything? If really. I mean, we'll get to watch the matchup, but typically ranged versus melee matchup is usually heavily favored towards the Teemo, and when you go AP Teemo especially, the amount of harassment and poke in lane is just so obnoxious. But yeah, we'll talk more about it once we actually get into the game. The Narcissus has now been banned away. Let's have a look. How are they trying to spell anything, Mikyx? We've got an R, we've got an E, and we've got a T.
Inter. They spell Inter.
They did, in fact, spell Inter. Yes, you are correct. Okay, so Camille and Zyra. Wow, the Zyra ban from Mickey.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, that's quite rude, honestly. Wow, we've got a Quinn. That's got to be a Quinn bot lane, I guess.
Could be Teemo AD carry, Quinn top on support.
I think we've been promised Teemo top, and I think it's either Ornn jungle or Ornn support. I'm kind of leaning towards Ornn support. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Unless they go for a more conventional build and go for something like a LeBlanc bot lane, as we know, very familiar in the bot lane.
Oh yeah, really. AD LeBlanc bot lane is one of the big picks. There's a Swain. I do like Swain Alistair bot. I think that's a really strong combo.
How do you feel about Swain Amumu though?
Anything with CC alongside a Swain is really good because his passive just lets you pull them back even further. So I would team up with an Alistair if I was picking it, but it's Mickey. Right, oh, it's Bard. Cool. He's got CC as well. That's sweet.
Okay.
Good job, Mickey. Nice.
This is actually like a super obnoxious lane because this duo has a huge amount of poke, and if you ever get hit by any of the CC, like you're going to take a huge amount of harassment. So I'm quite excited to see this 2v2 lane. The question is, what are they playing against?
Yes, it is Vedius, and I'm not sure. I'll be honest.
This is where you build
wait
tension,
just
Medic.
5
This is where you kind of build up.
Misfits.
We're at 4 seconds. Annie! Wow, so once again, more inspiration coming in from...
The way you said Annie was like, oh yeah, this is a pick I was expecting to some degree. It was a little bit surprising, but Annie was definitely coming in.
When we think about it, right, Annie is further again inspired by LS. And what he often encourages solo queue players to do is when they're struggling to climb, they go for Annie. Because she's simple, she's straightforward, she's easy to play. So you could say that Misfits is approaching this game in the context of, hey, we struggle here. We know we have a stronger opponent, so let's just bring it back to the basics. Let's go tutorials.
I'm gonna interrupt you because that's cool and all, but we've got Bard top lane.
No, that's I think to be expected. Yeah.
Okay.
We know that Aatrox is not a good matchup into Teemo, so G2 are going to do the swap and put the Bard
who relies on his auto attacks for damage is a good matchup into Teemo.
I mean, I'm saying
I guess
that
it's
a better one. It's a better matchup than an Aatrox is. You know. Yeah. Now, admittedly, Medic, I'll hold my hand up and say I will hold up my hand and say I'm not that familiar with Bard into Teemo, so it will be a learning experience for us all, and the observers are going to help us understand how this 1v1 matchup typically goes, and I'm hoping that for our fellow solo queue advocates, we can learn more and expand our repertoire about what is available now in solo queue, because now I'm inspired to play top lane because I know Bard can be played in the top lane. But also, there's another layer, Medic. There is another layer, because we know that secretly, Wunder is a support main, and now he's just adding to his support repertoire. So we're going to get to see what he can do as we have G2 versus Misfits for our final game of the split.
I'm going to say, Vedius, I think we need one of those intros for games like this where all of the players are just in clown makeup. Because I feel it would be very, very apt for the current moment. Now, I can remember, and I might be misremembering this slightly, but Aatrox and Swain was actually a lane that Caps and Mickey had played in solo queue a bunch. Because I remember it being pretty devastating.
They play like a Kali Amumu bot lane, so that doesn't surprise me even remotely. So pick a lane and let's talk about it, because we can talk about anything here.
Okay, I don't mind where we go.
No, you pick, please.
Okay, let's go top. Okay, because Wunder has Omnistone Bard.
Exactly.
Into Grasp of the Undying Teemo.
So Grasp of the Undying Teemo is quite interesting to me. It does suggest that, he started with the Doran's Ring. Now, again, I'm not that familiar with Teemo top lane, okay? So, maybe Grasp is the conventional. Normally, I'm used to seeing things like Airy when you're going for the AP build, typically, because it can double proc off of the poison duration, which is why it can be a pretty good itemization. Clearly, he's going for a little bit more sustain. Of course, on range champions, it is mitigated. Now, I do want to highlight, Dan Dan isn't spotted by that ward. The reason is a change came in a while ago where originally Teemo, he had to stay still to be invisible. However, if he's in a brush, he can move around as long as he set that initial staying still time, and he can stay invisible and just walk around and actually still stay invisible. That's why Wunder did not spot him out. So yeah, just wanted to add that clarifying. Now, Omnistone Bard is actually something that we've been seeing a lot, not just in top lane Bard, but also in support Bard. It's actually become one of the go-to because of how easily Bard can utilize the wide array of different runes that he has available to him. So this isn't that unconventional. This is something that we do often see. What does surprise me is his prioritization of the AP itemization start, so going for the Doran's Ring. Many Bards that I see that are going for more of a carry style will go for this one-punch Bard, so they'll go for things like early Sheen, they'll look for things like the Dead Man's Plate sometimes, and basically they just want as many on-hit effects as possible. So Sheen, Dead Man's Plate, Rapid Fire Cannon, and basically they want to hit you as hard as possible with a single auto attack. And then you have all those little like chime things that I forget the name of,
Meeps.
and they just kind of the meeps. Yeah, the meeps just slap you in the face. You basically just get a big slap across the face that does a huge amount of damage. So I'm curious as to what itemization direction Wunder will take. Maybe he just went for some early AP so that if he can land a Q, it just does a fair amount of damage. You can see that initial poke actually coming out quite strong on the side of Wunder, but just a bit of trading back and forth in the 1v1 for the time being, with Dan Dan having the slight push advantage.
Yep, currently pushing up the way, but the CS is pretty much even. Let's move to a different lane, Vedius. Mid lane or jungle? Your dealer's choice.
So let's start with the jungle, because many people are going to be unfamiliar with the AP Shyvana. This is something that actually props up a fair amount in solo queue. Dark Harvest is the rune that you will commonly see on this champion as well, and it's largely because all of her damage is going to come from her E, right? She's going to turn into the dragon, she's going to fire her E, and the burst is ridiculous. It goes through a bunch of stuff as well. Typically projectiles are like blocked on the first target that they hit, not Shyvana's E. That thing goes absolutely miles, and you're going to get hit randomly in all manner of ways. Now we'll get to the bot lane in a second, right? It's exciting, but there's a lot of exciting things, so we'll get back to that in a minute. The Shyvana jungle, notice how many stacks that she's going to be building up on that Dark Harvest, and it's going to make her execution damage that much more lethal. Normally you will see the runic echoes come out from her, and sometimes you'll see a Nash's Tooth if she wants to increase her dueling power just a little bit and provide that AP, but often you will see an early Oblivion Orb as well.
Bvoy has been ignited in the bottom lane, going to flash away as Caps is exhausted. Mikyx on the chase though, one more auto attack will be enough to take down Bvoy. That's first blood to G2. Denyk try to trade onto Caps, but I'm not sure the Annie can do too much when she hasn't got any mana. She does have Predator though. She's going to speed her way away. Hey, nothing can catch a girl skipping away like that.
Wow, that is a fast Annie. I was not expecting that. But as you rightly pointed out, she is running the Predator. But the problem with this bot lane for
support
Misfits,
items.
Yeah, the problem with this bot lane for Misfits is it is very squishy. It's very squishy, right? And as a result, what's great about this combination from Caps and Mikyx is, you highlighted it, Medic, as long as there's crowd control in the lane for a Swain, then the setup is very easy, because he can just pull you back, which means that any of the knockups that get landed by the Aatrox immediately gets followed up by the Swain, you land a huge amount of damage, which means that it's actually way harder for Denyk and Bvoy to use their range advantage as they typically would in the 2 versus 2, because if they overstep slightly, they die, as we already get to see. So Caps and Mikyx demonstrating how powerful this 2v2 actually can be, and Bvoy and Denyk gonna have to play a little bit safer, even though they do have a pretty solid CS advantage for the time being.
Yeah, they've got no flashes down in that bottom lane now, and Denyk actually really needs to go and get kills somewhere, or get some assists or something on the map, because he hasn't got a support item. He hasn't got stealthy, so he's not going to generate any gold in this lane at all, as Bvoy is locked up here by Caps. It's going to be the second kill of the game. Bvoy really can't do too much about it, even with the blind on Caps. He is able to help Mikyx get his second kill of the game. And this lane is pretty dunzo, Vedi.
Yeah, that all-in power is pretty strong, especially when Bvoy doesn't have any summoner spells available. Mikyx did actually drag Bvoy out of the third Q proc of Caps, which would have got the kill. But Mikyx showing
it's
like,
intentional. Intentional.
Yeah, I think I deserve the kills here because I'm the one doing all the work. Mikyx gonna spam his laugh as he sees Razork trying to do the crab. He doesn't care. He's just gonna go back to base, spend his hard-earned gold that he is clearly earning for himself. Wait, Medic. Jankos actually taking a bit of a different direction. Wait, no. He might be going for the earlier stinger.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute. So I legitimately thought PERKZ had DC'd and Razork was just walking past him out of respect, but nope, they actually just kind of 2 ships passing in the night.
PERKZ didn't even take the plate in the mid lane. He's like, okay, you didn't try and find me, I'm not going to take the plate gold. That's fine. That's a fair trade. Wunder picking up his chimes in the top lane. He's going towards the Hextech Gunblade, I believe. Could be Protobelt, but I expect Gunblade is a little bit stronger on Bard.
Is he going to go... I wonder if he's going to go full AP Bard. That is super interesting if he is. Anyway, we'll check in with that in a second. We've talked about the jungle. You can see that Jankos prioritizing power farming, Razork doing the same. They're both level 6 now, so they can both start looking for ganks. But look at the swords on PERKZ.
Mate,
right?
He is the General Grievous of mid lane players. He's like, I don't just need one lightsaber, I need all the lightsabers.
He does. He is just stacking those up. He's got arms coming out left, right, and center, right? And this is a matchup as old as time itself. There are going to be players watching our stream right now that weren't around in Season 3, Season 4, Season 5, but this used to be a classic. Medic. Zed versus LeBlanc used to be the skill matchup, and we're going to get to see it now.
Yeah, PERKZ going to get caught up with the chains, but able to flash away. The extra swords don't do too much when you can't attack the enemy.
Yeah, PERKZ getting straight up outskilled there. Beautifully played by Febiven. Great utilization of the chains to keep PERKZ at arm's length.
Is 6. Denyk has Ghost. He's going to pop the Ghost. Eye of an Empire isn't going to quite connect, or Vision of the Empire, sorry. Coming out from Mikyx and... Yeah,
Caps does miss the initial Q there. PERKZ now getting very low. He has to be careful. Okay, he's going to disengage from that one. Febiven playing this matchup very well. Fun fact for those... oh no, here it comes. It's starting, Medic, it's starting. But fun fact for those that are unfamiliar with Febiven's history, Zed was the champion that he got a solo kill onto FLICKR on in 2015 MSI. Zed versus Azir was the matchup, and that's really when many people started to pay much more attention to Febiven after that very strong Fnatic roster back in 2015. They went 18-0 later on in summer when Reckless later rejoined that roster. So
they did.
That was really the start of the Febiven legacy, and yeah, it's cool to see him back on Febiven. It's Febiven, LeBlanc rather, in a very cool skill matchup. We'll see how PERKZ handles the rest of the matchup now that he doesn't have his flash. Bvoy taking a lot of damage, but doing a fair amount to Mikyx as well.
The thing about this though is, Razork just walks in and steals away the Riptide. Jankos going to have to use the Dragon's Descent to get away. Denyk trying to run around here. Still got his flash. Does have the Predator as well. He's trying to flash it onto Mikyx. Can't quite get the kill as Caps takes him out. And G2 continue to dominate in the bottom lane, but Razork, actually, I've just realized both the junglers are almost the highest CS in the game, apart from the top laners. Just because they've only been farming for the entirety of the start of this game.
You know, and this has been one of the best bot lane performances we've seen from Mikyx and Caps, funnily enough. You
take Caps off AD carries, and it just works, Vedius. It just works.
It just works. I'm really impressed with this Aatrox swaying bot lane. Honestly, I haven't seen it before, but you can see how well they synergize this together, and the all-in power is just so devastating. And Aatrox used to be one of Caps' go-to champions. It was actually something that he played during the 1v1 tournament at All-Stars back in 2018, I think, is the year that he won it. Because then Bwipo later won it in 2019. But yeah, it's definitely a champion that he's very familiar with. And yeah, him and Mikyx are having a great performance so far in their 2v2.
That they are. The rest of the map pretty much even across the board. Febi has been winning the mid lane trades, but it looks like Mikyx's on his way. PERKZ going to get rooted up there. Febi's going to flash away from the Vision of Empire and get back beneath his turret. Passive is popped, but the Rift was used in top lane. This will be the first tower of the game. Misfits coming out strong. Razork actually gets the knock up onto Wunder through the portal. Not too much of a magical journey there, and Razork does still have... Well, he's actually used his ultimate already. Didn't see where he used that, but able to force Mikyx back, and the Rift gets the charge in. Misfits get first turret and even out that goal just a tad.
So, G2 is winning bot side of the map. Misfits now being able to win out on the top side is definitely going to equalize out the gold. They will be able to get a second Rift shard. Oh, you're right. It's coming in from Caps. They're looking to get the collapse.
So they have no escapes. They've got no flash. They've really got nowhere to go. Here comes Caps. The World Ender comes in. The Dragon's Descent for the chase. And you can see the damage from the Flame Breath from Jankos already. Gets his first kill on the board. And PERKZ will get one for himself as well.
So he's going to pick up 2 Dark Harvest stacks off the back of that. The burn damage is also so devastating. Bvoy looking for Mikyx. They have the right set. Denyk now level 6. They're not going to go for it though. Will Jankos fall for the trap? No, he will not. Bvoy and Denyk not going to find anything off the back of that. And props to Mikyx. He's been involved in every single kill of the game so far, along with Caps. This bot lane. You know, we talked about POGs, Medic. Think about that. Right now, moment, Caps and Mikyx are kind of sitting at the front of that.
I think Wunder has to be up there as well. You know, surviving a Teemo lane is not an easy thing to do. And I'm not just saying that because PERKZ and Jankos wouldn't be in the vote then.
Yeah, no,
I do want to do just a quick message to all supports out there. usually a support main knows that your support item is incredibly important, right? Because obviously that's how you get gold, it's how you get your quests off.
That's true.
Just make a comparison between the two supports in this game. Look at Denyk, who has Predator Boots, an Amplifying Tome, and a Fairy Charm. And look at Mikyx. Yes, Mikyx has 2 kills and 3 assists, but ignore that for the moment. Who has Sorcerers and everything else. He's 1,300 gold ahead. He's got Sorcerers, he's got 5 stacks on his Dark Steel. Denyk has none. That's only because of the support item, okay? It's just so good for you to have it, and Misfits aren't going to have any wards now, which could be beneficial, because if you don't know where you're going, the enemy team doesn't know where you're going. Oh, no, wait, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work, no. Good try, though. Good try. But I respect your message, Medic. Yeah. I think that you're trying to tell all support Phils out there that you should buy a support item, even if you
anyone
want to
not named Phil
support.
as well. Just anyone playing support should do it. Anyway, Deathmark's going to come in here from PERKZ. He's stunned up, and he will get taken out. Bvoy gets the kill, the Ignite sticking on Denyk, but he'll survive. Vision of Empire is not quite going to connect as the Dragon has been started here by G2. Bvoy, you don't win this, Bvoy. Or maybe you do. Mikyx does still have the ultimate. Jankos on his way as well. It's actually Misfits doing the Dragon.
Watch
Jankos.
the damage, here it comes!
Watch the Twin Breath. It hits! Look at the range on that! That is absurd! That is absolutely disgusting! Shyvana AP is the new Karthus AP jungle. That's what you got to do. Febi trying to fight up against Jankos, but you just need one more Dragon's Breath. Razork's going to die here as Wunder hits him with the meat. Febiven almost dies as well. The Bard ult comes out, and here comes the chase. Febiven escaped this. It's a double for Wunder, and it's Wunder, Caps, and Mikyx who are popping off.
Wow, Mikyx is actually just smurfing this game. His sign is so good. Like, the fact that he just baits Bvoy in, he's like, oh no, I'm just a helpless general who needs his team to survive. But no, he pops the ultimate, he forces Bvoy to overextend. Jankos then comes in to provide that additional damage, and this is also going to be the second Drake of the game. Remember, Shyvana gets free stats just by killing those Drakes. That's the advantage of her passive, and now we're going to get a look back at this play. Now, PERKZ does get exhausted, right? He is at a numbers disadvantage here, 2 versus 1. He's managed to dodge out the stun, but this exhaust here stops him from getting that kill onto Denyk, which definitely hurts him a lot. So this could have been a 1-for-1, but here we see Mikyx baiting in the bird. It's like, it's bird on bird combat, right? So it's Owls versus Ravens right now, and the Ravens are just acting as bait. Bvoy's then forced to run away. Jankos comes in with so much damage, gets another Dark Harvest proc off the back of it. He is forced to flash to land that last hit, but now we see more action back on the Rift.
Bvoy has died 4 times in 14 minutes. At an average of 30 seconds of death, he has only been on the map for 12 minutes, Vedios. That is a huge amount less than everyone else.
That is some quick math, Medic. I'm impressed.
Mate, yes, I can do 30 seconds times 4 and subtract that from a total.
Impressive. Very impressive. Thank you. Now, we do see the collapse. Wow, they really don't want PERKZ to get player of the game.
He's going to try and jump back. Denyk's looking for the stun here. Tibbers comes down. PERKZ still has the dodge back. He go back to the left. He gets one. But Dan Dan's there, willing and ready to take the kill. Teemo just destructive. Febiven's going to jump away. Jankos. Oh, he hits it. That shouldn't have connected.
It was the burn, though. It was the burn from... it was actually the burn from the red buff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The burn from the red buff is actually what got the kill there. So you're right. The hitbox did not connect. But Jankos now sitting at 3-0-2. Again, we're constantly thinking about player of the games, guys. Think about this in the Twitch chat. Like, it's very important, because right now, Mikyx and Caps, they're having a very impressive game, but PERKZ and Jankos are the two that are tied, and they need to have an impressive performance if they even want to be on the vote. So make sure you're tweeting at LEC who you want to see on that vote, because right now, things aren't looking promising for PERKZ.
I'm looking forward to see what G2 Esports tweet about it. I'm expecting just vote for Wunder, Caps, and Mikyx. We'll see. Wunder not going to be able to spot out Razork here, who's waiting in the bush. PERKZ is there as well, but Razork will from behind enemy lines be able to retreat.
He was utilizing the Teemo passive there without actually having it himself, so that was quite impressive. Now, of course, Jankos is having a great game. We've got to think about how Misfits come back into this game, because remember, Vitality was in a similar situation, right? Admittedly, the kills were a little bit closer. The action was a little bit more back and forth, but Vitality last game was in a position where they were able to come back. So how does Misfits come back into this game? Well, it starts off with a good engagement.
Caps is caught out, he's dead. And now we'll see the chase. Wunder, PERKZ, and Mikyx are on their way. Febiven's coming up from the bottom side of the map as Dan Dan works his way down through the jungle. Now, Febiven's caught the wave in the mid lane. There's no turret here for Razork to get onto, and Bvoy really can't join the fight. Deathmark popped by PERKZ. He's going to jump back in already. That is one down. Wunder tries to get away. Febiven caught up, though, and the flame breath will come down. PERKZ is dead to Dan Dan, but Febiven just about steps to the side of the Vision of Empire. Dan Dan pulled back, and there is the tempered fate to let Dan Dan await before he flashes away. Misfits able to escape with 4 members still alive.
Yeah, it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Misfits. Unfortunately, they're going to lose control over this mid wave because a lot of members were forced back to base. They had to reset. G2 do have the Rift Herald, and they're going to break that mid tier 2. So they still sit with a 4.5, nearly 5k gold advantage. They're going to get another push as well. The Inferno Drake is spawning in about a minute's time. So while there was a promising fight for Misfits, unfortunately, they couldn't convert it into a huge man. This is where we see Caps, honestly, just overextending. He thinks he's safe because Wunder's here, but Wunder can't offer that much peel. He doesn't have his ultimate available to him, so while he does get a good stun onto Bvoy and Razork, it's not enough to keep Caps alive. Then, G2 want to continue the fight. This is something you'll often see. They are very bloodthirsty, but Razork, he takes a bit of an interesting path there. He just makes it easy for G2 to find that engage. PERKZ then secures himself a quick kill. You see the flash in from Denyk, and they're able to shut PERKZ down, but this, of course, leaves Febiven isolated. He doesn't lose his life, but he is forced to escape. So that's when Misfits found the 2 kills. But now we see Misfits looking for the collapse.
Misfits are ready for some action here. Later on we'll hear from G2 who they picked in the first round of the playoffs, but right now we see the action on the Rift. You can see Mikyx getting caught out. He has popped the ult. He's going to heal up. Jankos trying to get in here. Hasn't got the ult back up, but Caps already takes one. It's actually Jankos that gets the double. Razork getting chased out by PERKZ as well. That felt a little bit unfair. Febiven's going to die as well. It's a triple for Jankos. This AP Shyvana, Betty.
Man.
I don't want to say he's first place in Kia player of the game.
I mean,
he's 6-0-2. He hasn't died.
He is 6-0-2. Whoa, look at the damage!
Oh, it's the fight. Whoever gets this kill gets player of the game. That's how we decided. Jankos goes into his human form. Bvoy waiting. Jankos still on the chase. Doesn't land the final Flame's Breath. And, they're going to back away. Bvoy's just baiting them. He's anticipating them overstepping a little bit. PERKZ gets a bit more damage in. That was Twin Shadows from Denyk on support.
So no kill ends up coming down onto Bvoy. Player of the game still open for debate right now. Of course, G2 still have to win this game, and even though it looks like G2 has a gold lead, you never really know with this team. You always have to be careful.
You do know that they have a gold lead, Vedius. There's no question as to whether or not they have a gold lead.
Fair point. What I mean by that is, you never know if they're going to win with that gold lead, especially with a draft like this.
Yeah, they've only done it 14 out of the 17 games they've played so far. Tempered Fate's going to hit onto Bvoy. Wunder trying to get the autos in, but can't quite land the final one. Denyk, though, caught out by Mikyx. Lands a great stun. Razork has a flank position here, but Caps has caught him out. Call of the Forge God's coming out as Bvoy tries to get onto Wunder. Wunder dies. The Call of the Forge God's going to land. Jankos on the chase here, and it's Dan Dan and Febi trying to clean up, trying to take out Mikyx, but Mikyx still with that ult popping is just healing up so much. G2 take down 3 members of Misfits and get out alive. PERKZ gets Bvoy. Okay, PERKZ player of the game. That's what we decided. That was a 1v1 kill. Febiven's trying to trade as Jankos is still on the chase. The blast cone away from Febi, but Jankos is not giving this one up without a fight. Can't quite land the flame breath across the wall. And Febiven once again able to escape. However, G2 are walking straight into the Misfits base.
So, of course, Misfits in a bit of a difficult situation right now. Coming back from an 8,000 gold deficit is always a challenging thing to do. But that doesn't mean that they're going to give up. Febiven looking for that 1v1 against PERKZ. Caps ruining the Sacred Duel by offering protection for his mid laner. Will mean that Febiven will unfortunately not be able to find that. Choosing to prioritize the Hextech GLP. Interesting choice there as we see... Yep, Bvoy just disappearing as Jankos claims another life. You can see the gold difference between all of the players is quite substantial.
Yep, PERKZ jumping in. Razork will survive a death mark. Ornn can get quite tanky. Obviously, Jankos going in, though, and the Flame Breath will connect. Febiven steps straight into the face of 5 G2 players. It's like, guys, I'm out of here. See you later. There's Razork jumping back in. They're trying to take out Jankos, but the Flame Breaths keep raining down hell from the walls. It's like King's Landing all over again, guys, and it's not going to be a good end for Misfits. Dan Dan dies. Jankos goes legendary. He gets a double as he kills Febiven as well, and PERKZ doesn't get anything out of it. Jankos is 10-0-3 here, Vedius. And I have just had confirmation that the vote at the end of this is just going to be between PERKZ and Jankos, so start making up your minds soon.
No!
It's
Mickey
a 50-50,
has to be on the
guys.
list!
It's a 50-50, guys.
Oh no! Mickey was robbed!
Mickey could have won. Let's be honest. Supports are
that's what they were
robbed.
afraid of. They were afraid that if Mickey was on the vote, everyone would just vote for Mickey.
Yeah.
Alright, Bvoy, he's looking to claim vengeance. He needs to reclaim this glory as he goes for a
1-6
1v1
against the 10 and
Jankos.
3. Jankos is just waiting. Picks up the Caretaker Shrine. Now he's going to
His
build up
ultimate's
that
already
ultimate.
almost back up.
The more auto attacks you get in, the more ultimate stacks you get. So he's looking for those auto attacks. Of course, it builds up over time as well. But Jankos won't be able to get it in time. Razork, though, tanking up the tower. Jankos, just go for it, mate. Just go for it, mate. There he goes. He ults in. Now he's looking for the kill. The Flame Breath. He gets it. 11-0-4 now on this AP Shyvana. And
that
this
ultimate
isn't
just
making
has
a
no
statement.
cooldown, Medic.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Febiven.
This is why you get
Utilizing the
Stinger as
Teemo
well.
passive. Here we go.
Go on,
He's
Febi.
doing a one-shot.
Well, none of them probably. He's got
None of them, yeah,
the
none of them,
GLP.
exactly.
So
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Dan Dan is losing the 1v1 against Caps. Does hit the blind. Dodges away from the Darking Blade.
Caps
and
knows where all the shrooms are, and he's trying to dodge them all.
Infernal Chains. Dan Dan. It's Teemo, guys. Tempo. He dodges the Teemo fate.
Oh, that's gonna keep him alive!
Oh, no, it's not.
okay.
It's not. If he dodged the Temper Fate, he could have killed Caps there, just on the edge of infinite praise from the casters. But sadly, Dan Dan performance is looking like his Nocturne topped it earlier in the split. And G2, of course, still looking for vengeance after they lost to Misfits earlier. The only team in the LEC they haven't beaten so far this split. Febiven lands the chains onto PERKZ, who can just dodge away with a Living Shadow. Pops the Yumu's, looking for a chase, but not going to get too much out of it. And in 23 minutes of gameplay so far, Vedis, we have had 34 kills. And Bvoy has been dead for 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
Which,
oh, well now PERKZ is dead. Look at Mickey! Look at him!
He's not even on the vote, Veddy. Supports just, they get no praise these days. That's the issue.
He's literally 1v5ing.
So
He's 1v5ing.
Every time you land CC and you pull it back out of someone, you get health back as well as Swain. So that's how he can survive for so long in some of these fights. Of course, the Demonic is like, oh, he's dead. Febiven jumps all the way back to take him out. Febiven knows who the true carry is for G2. And he is able to escape. But there are super minions pushing in towards the Nexus, and it looks like Jankos is on a one-man track towards it. Instead, he backs away after not clearing any of the minions. Wunder's going to step forward. 2-level advantage for the Bard. He's got that Dead Man's Plate. It's actually Protobet he's built. Waiting. Oh, the synergy between Wunder and Caps coming to fruition.
Medic, I did promise the viewers that I would check in on the Bard build for our Bard top advocates.
Do it, mate.
Now,
do it.
I am surprised to see the Proto Belt into Deadman's. Now, Deadman's, we talked about it, pretty conventional. Proto Belt, not that common. Now, the main reason why I think he's going for it is that extra bit of mobility and AP scaling. As we see another fight.
Yeah, and it looked like Misfits had caught Caps, but do you ever really kill Caps? Jankos is going to chase out Denyk. This should be a pretty easy 1v1. Oof. Damn, it's just half his health. He's 13-0-6. Caps survives the entire thing. PERKZ dies again. And PERKZ actually has 5 of his team's 9 deaths. That's over 50% death participation for PERKZ.
That is
He's leading in one stat at least, I guess, here for G2. Febiven's going to get chased underneath the turret. Wunder's still on the chase. And there is the ace. G2 clean Misfits up. And the Nexus will be next on the menu. Fun game here from G2 and Misfits as we lead on into playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a one-sided slaughter from the side of G2. They will be able to remove the blemish that was that Misfits was the only team they haven't beaten so far this split. Looks like they have rectified that issue very promptly. And now the ultimate debate comes, Medic. PERKZ versus Jankos for player of the game. We both feel very strongly that Mickey does deserve it. However, we must live with the situation that we are telling. You guys didn't hear that.
Just came in our ear and said no.
No. So this is the situation that we're presented with.
Betty, actually, I have a solution. Okay, you know how on a ballot sheet you can write in a name.
First, we must tell our viewers. They have to go to @LEC on Twitter and vote for Jankos or PERKZ. You have to. This is pivotal.
One of the most important player of the game vote of the split.
Yes.
Because it decides who gets first place.
Yes, so you have to vote at LEC on Twitter. Do it right now. It's extremely important. So, Medic, now, tell me, what were you going to suggest?
Well, I was going to say, you know how you can do write-in votes, where if you don't like any of the candidates, you just write the name of a different candidate in the reply.
Oh, right, yeah.
And apparently that's been shot down. I didn't realize this wasn't a democracy, Kevin, but it's like a producer just shooting me down. But yeah, go to at LEC on Twitter, vote for either Jankos or PERKZ. That whoever wins this vote wins the Kia player of the game for the split, so I'm sure it's a vital one for both of them. Jankos didn't die the entire game, just putting that one out there. We'll see who ends up getting it. But
I think that's enough from us, though, Medic. That's enough from us. We had a lot of fun. Great way to end the split.
Thank you very much for watching. For a preview of the spring playoffs, we're going to head on over to Shocks in the LEC post-game lobby.
The what? The post-game lobby? The post-game lobby, indeed. Hey, currently I'm by myself, so you guys can enjoy this solo podcast. I just heard that G2 will be late. That's okay. I have a lot to say. So we're waiting for Jankos and Mikyx. As we know, it is the battle for the Kia player of the game between Jankos and PERKZ. Now, the fact that PERKZ isn't on PGL is not an indicator. We made these plans before. We're not going to know. And I am going to call in a helpline before we get our guest. Is anyone still around?
I'm around, Shocks.
Hey, Shocks, it's Medi back again.
Great stuff. So apparently the reason why they are late is because they have to choose their opponent, of course, because since G2 is locked in first place, I think maybe we can get, I don't know if we have it already, but I'd love to have like the final standings or the bracket if it's filled in, but we'll see in a second because they get to pick between 3 and 4.
Yes, so their choices are Origin or Mad Lions. Expectations would be that they would choose Mad Lions. It would be the, on paper, easiest opponent for them to go against. But you never really know with G2. I'm sure they feel very confident against a team like Origin as well. They do have a 2-0 record over Origin. They're only 1-1 against Mad Lions. So, it depends on how they're feeling on the day, really, when it comes to choosing their opposition. You can never really be too sure with this team.
No, and of course, we can't have the bracket because they're picking as we speak. Hey, it's been a long weekend. But there we go. Yeah, I don't actually know. Of course, yesterday Bupo said, if we end up third, G2 might be crazy enough to pick us, but that was probably not going to happen. But I don't know. Stylistically, they know what they have in OG. They don't know what they have in Mad Lions in a best of 5.
I definitely think that's the argument, right? Because you know how Origin are going to play. They've played exactly the same for the entirety of the split. And, across the last few weeks, Origin haven't really looked like they're making steps and bounds to improve that style, right? We saw them lose today to the Mad Lions, right? Against Mad Lions, they continue to improve and they continue to change things up. So G2 could quite easily say, hey, we've beaten Origin so many times before, why don't we just do it again instead of having a wild card like Mad Lions?
Yeah, and I think it's also important to highlight that you currently have the standings on your screen. So G2 have the choice between 3 and 4, which of course is Origin and Mad Lions. Now, some may be confused. Why didn't we have a tiebreaker game between Fnatic and Origin? Due to our tiebreaker rules, if teams are tied in the standings through scores, first we look at head-to-head, and if that is tied, then we look at second half wins of the season, and Fnatic did have more, which is why they secured that second place spot. So they're not up for choice. G2 can't choose Fnatic. Origin and Mad Lions are their only choice. Meanwhile, Misfits and Rogue will be playing in the bottom half of the bracket, which means that they have a single best of 5 that they have to play, and the loser will then be eliminated from playoffs.
So with these 6 playoff teams, before our guests get here, can you predict an upset?
I think Origin will have one.
Think Origin will have an upset? You think?
I think that... Is that Jankos?
Hello?
Hello, it's me and Mickey. We are here. We are out.
Okay, we're gonna leave you to it, Shocks.
Yeah, we'll leave you to it.
Have a great PGL.
Cool. Bye, thank you. Hey, hello, thank you for joining. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. We can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. So, without further ado, I think you guys were held up because you had to pick your opponent out of OG and Mad Lions. Who wants to do the honors? Who did you pick?
I think Mickey should take it.
And the opponents that we pick for our matchup are gonna be Mad Lions.
Woo! Okay, a little Oscar clap there. Cool. That means we'll have the bracket in just a second. But can you say why did you pick the Mad Lions and not OG, for instance?
Well, I suppose we just thought that they are the worst team, right? I mean, that's just a simple answer. I think that Origin has a higher ceiling in playoffs than Mad Lions have. All of their players are like kind of new, and even though we are playing online and not on stage, so there is no this like experienced player factor, then I still feel like Mad Lions are just overall worse, and we should be able to take them on.
Okay, on the Mad Lions though, Mickey, maybe for you, there is a conversation about Kaiser for Rookie of the Split that's been playing really well. Do you think that'll make the bot lane a bit more tricky?
Yeah, I think if I compare the two bot lanes, it's probably harder for us to play against the Mad Lions bot lane, just because I think their champion pools are more diverse than OG. But I think, yeah, they're just pretty good players. I think Kaiser's also really good. Not sure if it's going to be Rookie of the Split, because Razork was kind of smurfing. But,
Razork.
But yeah, I mean, they're both really good, so I'm hyped to play them.
How much in your decision-making went to the fact that the team you didn't pick, in this case OG, will now go up against Fnatic? Did you think that was kind of, a cool side effect of the fact that it might be a harder opponent for them?
Actually, this is something I mentioned to my team when we were discussing who should we pick, and I said that it's I kind of want to pick Mad Lions just because it's going to be like really funny to see OG take on Fnatic, and now it's happening. So I mean, I feel like Fnatic is probably still like better team than OG is, and I don't really expect OG upsetting Fnatic, but both teams are very strong, I think that Fnatic's early game is just like by far superior towards OG's though, so I feel like as long as Fnatic can actually snowball and play with Selfmade, who is performing like insanely well in every game, I think that they can take down OG, and we will meet each other after the first round.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll of course meet the winner. Geez, it's been a long weekend. Sorry, the winner of Fnatic versus OG, and then the loser will of course get another chance. It's not like they're out. The only thing is that now Misfits is playing Rogue in match 3, or the third match we're going to see next week Sunday in a best of 5, and the loser of that immediately goes out. Can I get a cheeky prediction of Misfits versus Rogue?
I think they both looked kind of weak in the last few weeks, or like at least online. If I would have to predict one of them, I would probably say, maybe Misfits even. I'm not sure. I think it's a fit.
I have to agree here with Mickey, since I think, Rogue was a disappointment lately. I think they're not playing very well, and I was really excited to see them in Spring Split because they did start very well, and I felt like all of the players like kind of good, but now it feels like they are not really playing as a team anymore, and it also feels like Finn is inting literally every game. So I think that I would probably give it to Misfits just because all around they are also like a pretty good team. I think their players like kind of similar, and I think Febi can carry.
Okay, so we are not going to talk too much about your last game unless there is anything you want to talk about. For instance, Wunder playing Bard. Mickey, I don't know.
I'm playing Swain.
Yeah, you played Swain, but yeah.
I was about to lock in Zara, but unfortunately I was in my ban phase, so I accidentally banned it. Otherwise I would for sure put Zara there.
No! Really?
No.
Well, I would like to say that Misfits really disappointed me because I was about to pull out Echo since I wanted revenge on them, and I wanted to play like the same troll champ as they did when they won against us, and I really like craved for that Echo pick, and then they banned it, and then junglers kind of agreed to like farm mostly for the entire game, so I guess AP Shyvana worked well, and I have no clue why did they pick Ornn in that case, but yeah, I'm really disappointed I didn't get to play Echo.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, there was also a pretty important battle going on, Jankos. I hope someone told you about the Kia player of the game, the fact that you and PERKZ were tied.
Wait, what?
You were tied.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we were tied, but I won, right? I won. Or did he win?
We don't know.
Wait, we don't know? But like, okay, he was playing Zed, so it's a bit unfair.
Okay, we do know. So basically what we did is we only had 2 people on the votes at the end. So we only had you and PERKZ what people could vote for. And Mickey, who do you think won? Yeah, I know you were robbed.
Jankos.
Yeah, Jankos won. Jankos is...
That's really loud. Oh, so I'm sorry. I hope you didn't have headphones. Did you have headphones? You played it. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. So basically you were already in first place, even though it was tied, because when you won, Jankos, more people voted for you than they voted for PERKZ when he won. So you just beat him like on every single accord.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not really surprised here. I think it's well deserved. I think I was performing very well this split. No, I'm just joking.
I think me and Jankos actually share this reward because usually the support jungle synergy is what gives us the win.
Yeah, what builds the team really. So I think that me and Mikyx should take the first place together.
So thank you guys for voting us.
So PERKZ is actually third place as well.
He's third place.
Yeah, PERKZ is third. Okay, I'm sure we can amend the rules to make that happen. Cool. Well, congratulations, Jankos. Great stuff there. It leads me into our MVP discussion. So I can summarize for you what we talked about with the experts and also some Whippo yesterday on PGL. Basically, the three candidates which are discussed the most are Jankos, PERKZ, and Whippo. I'd love to know what you two think about that.
I would have to disagree with PERKZ and Jankos, but I think I would also maybe put Reckless up there. I think he was playing pretty consistently throughout the whole split. But I think overall, yeah, I think Jankos should deserve it. Yeah, he also got Kia player of the games most times. So obviously, if he gets MVP of the split, then also means I kind of get it, So I would vote for Jankos.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Bvoy pick there because obviously the thing about Bvoy is that he plays very well, but then he also ints a lot, right? So it's very hard to say when the game is good for him because even though he has like those game-winning moments or game-winning plays, he also has those games where he's like either like non-factor or he's just like kind of dying for no reason a lot. But I do think he has been performing very well this split. But then again, on Fnatic, I feel like, Selfmade, Reckless, also had like most of their games were very, very good. I think like Nemesis and Hylissang this split didn't like really impress me that much. Then I can say that PERKZ obviously didn't really get an MVP yet, even though he has been playing for so many years and he has been performing exceptionally well in all of these years. And someone always either like took it from him or maybe he wasn't good enough, but that's something I would think about as well, right? I mean, he's obviously really talented, really good, great player. He always leads the team very well, and that's why G2 is like doing well as well. A lot of times, it seems like team is always built around him, and G2 is always on top ever since they came around. Well, except for 2019, 18.
Yeah.
And about me, I should probably talk about myself, right?
Yeah, of course you should. Go ahead.
Okay, so I will say that Grind is all about support. So I'm standing here next to Mickey, touching his shoulder right now. Mickey, you are the best, man. No, I do think that my team allows me to perform well. I think that everyone is doing very, very well from my lanes, communicating. And obviously I'm like doing the best job I can. And I think I have been playing kind of well this split. I don't want to like talk about myself because I don't really talk about myself in a good fashion, but I do think that most of the time I was playing well. My team hates me because apparently I steal too many kills. But I think that if Jungle gets ahead, then I can help everyone. So yeah.
I think 15 times in the split you played well because better Jungle wins.
Well, we're going to see. Of course, the vote will commence, I think, after this week. Probably tomorrow it will get sent out. You will all have a chance, you guys, with the teams to pick as well as the All-Pros. So that'll be very, very exciting. Mickey, how do you reflect on your split? Personally, you weren't mentioned in the MVP vote, so I thought I'd ask you.
What a shocker. Yeah, I think I didn't have the best split of my life. It was like, one of the worst ones. But then again, I don't mind. There's always summer to look forward to. And I'll get my MVP in summer. It's fine.
Okay. Well, on the topic of that, maybe you don't want to say it, but I think it's only natural that, like, you swapped marksman again, right? So I think it's only normal that that's an adjustment and people can't expect you to play like at 110% immediately. But how do you think the duo lane has evolved?
I think we're actually pretty decent right now. I feel like kind of same as last year with PERKZ, where it was like we started kind of slowly and everyone was like kind of flaming us and looking at everything that we did wrong. I think it's pretty similar this time around. Everyone's kind of flaming us for everything that goes wrong. I think we're actually pretty good. And I guess we'll just have to show it in playoffs.
Yes, you will. Let's preview the playoffs just a little bit more. I just want to put the playoff bracket on screen just once again because it is a new format and that we will have 3 best of 5s next week immediately. So people should clear their schedules. I mean, they have to stay home, so it's ideal. On Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday, the best of 5s. About G2 as a whole, can you compare, I don't know who wants to answer it, maybe Jankos and then Mikyx, but do you want to compare kind of the confidence you had when you went into the summer playoffs to now in terms of winning everything?
Well, I think that back in summer 2019, I felt like, after MSI, we were like really like high up there, It felt like we will play, win everything and win worlds and stuff. But then Fnatic actually proved us wrong, and 2 BO5s against them were like super close. Both times we lost 2 games. I think right now, Fnatic already like looked way better this split than they did previous year. And on top of that, overall the split is more competitive. I feel like all the teams are stronger than they were last year. So we cannot take anything for granted, and we actually like have to try really, really hard, especially that even some of our games, even though we won 15 games and we won against all the top teams, it did seem like some of the games we didn't necessarily win and they instead threw it. So I think we have to like really go cool-headed into playoffs, and we have to kind of focus on every opponent, take it slow, and really like make sure that we can actually win. Because even though all the players are going to be offline and we'll maybe not even get to see the trophy, then I just can't imagine like losing in playoffs and then like being stuck in Berlin anyway. But yeah.
Mikyx, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, pretty similar. I think Fnatic is doing much better this time in the regular season compared to last year regular season. And yeah, I guess after MSI we were probably feeling a bit more confident than this time around. Especially from scrims as well. Going as great as last year in summer. But yeah, I still think we can probably win. Yeah, but it's probably going to be weird playing playoffs from online, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you about it. I think everyone has a different opinion on it. I'd love to know what you guys think, because many players do. And I think us as well as casters, you kind of vibe off the arena and the noise and the stage shaking and just all that energy. And I think that maybe you guys are also people who like that atmosphere. So I don't know, is it going to be very different? And maybe some, like your coaches can stand behind you and kind of make your chair shake or something. I don't know. But in general, how different will it make the experience?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they can't do that, but it would be nice if they could. Yeah, I'm not really sure like what to expect. It's for sure going to be like weird. Usually when you play like a big arena and it's really loud, you're like get nervous as soon as you walk onto the stage, and it's like a pretty crazy feeling. So it's sure gonna be weird. It's gonna be like playing a scrim, and then even if you win, you're like, well, I guess we won, like, yeah, I don't know. It's sure gonna be weird.
I wonder if there's going to be anything. I mean, I don't know anything, so please don't take this as gospel. But I mean, it might be nice if something got arranged that like someone bursts in with, confetti and I don't know, air horns and whatever. Might be fun. Anyway, we're descending into something else. Jankos, is there anything you want to comment before we sign off on the G2 we're going to see in playoffs and a message to the fans?
Well, I mean, I do think that the split so far has been rather successful. Obviously, we had our ups and downs, and not everyone is very confident in, Caps still playing AD carry and PERKZ going back to mid lane. Personally, I want to say that I think we will be a stronger team in the long run, and I think right now already we feel really comfortable and confident with like both of them switching roles, and we had all this time to prepare for playoffs, so we will show a strong performance, I'm pretty sure. And, we still want to secure the MSI spot. So we still want to like make sure that we play very well, in playoffs. And even though it's online and it's not the same as Mikyx mentioned, then, winning it and then getting the trophy, hopefully like a couple of months after, will still be good. So, we'll try our best. And to all the fans, I would like to thank to all of you, in my name and in G2's name and my team's name that, you keep cheering for us, you keep supporting us. We are like always trying our best, and we are still the kings of Europe. So we will prove it in playoffs, and we will just try our best. I guess there's the dynasty against the kings. So yeah, thank you for being around, and thank you for watching from home as well.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'm also going to thank everyone for tuning in from home, and thank you for supporting us through this period where it hasn't been the same, but we hope we have been able to entertain you, and we'll do it even more so in the playoffs. Thank you so much, Jankos and Mickey, for joining me. Congratulations again on first place and on Kia Player of the Game, Jankos. How can I forget it? That was all from all from us here tonight. Be sure to stay tuned though. Week 9 of the LCS is already starting. It's Kabi and TSM versus 100 Thieves, and then the LEC returns next Friday for the spring playoffs. We'll see you then. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.